Welcome back to America Decides. Tomorrow, a special election will determine the Wisconsin Supreme Court's ideological makeup. Now, strictly, this is a nonpartisan election. But behind that gloss, both parties have drawn a line. And their voters will have a choice between the Democratic-backed candidate, Susan Crawford, and the Republican-backed candidate, Brad Schemmel. The contest has already become the most expensive, as we mentioned, going to break, judicial race in the history of our country. And it includes massive donations from George Soros on the left, Elon Musk on the right, but lots of other grassroots donors have involved themselves as well. Now, Musk did something in this race he did in the general election last year, handing out million-dollar payments via lottery to voters or potential voters. The state Supreme Court refused to hear a petition from Wisconsin's Democratic Attorney General to stop those checks from being handed out. Our Ed O'Keefe joins us now, I'm happy to say, from Wisconsin. Ed, great to see you. I'm glad you're there. You spoke to the candidates. What do they tell you?
Well, we focused a lot of the conversation, Major, on the fact that so much money from out of state is being spent on this race. As you mentioned, Elon Musk doing a combined roughly $15 million now between personal donations and money that his PAC has donated, including those $1 million checks he gave out last night. Ironic that the state Supreme Court, where a seat is up for grabs, declined to rule on the legality of him doing that and allowed him to move forward with it. Then you got several million from guys like George Soros, Reid Hoffman, six-figure sums from people like Reid Hoffman. J.B. Pritzker, the Democratic governor of Illinois, has given $1.5 million to the state party that got transferred into this race as well. So lots of big money from out of state. We talked to Susan Crawford, then Brad Schemmel, about money in this judicial race. Take a listen. Part of the reason, really the only reason we're here, is because while this is a statewide race, it has drawn tens of millions of dollars from across the country, primarily from a handful of wealthy people on both sides.
No, that's actually not true.
Well, you have Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who donated a bunch of money to the state party that got funneled to your campaign. You got George Soros, who donated a lot of money to the state party that got funneled to your campaign.
Let me just point out one fact, okay? The amount of money that Elon Musk has spent in the last 8 weeks exceeds what my campaign has raised in the last 10 months over the entire course of the campaign. It is not comparable whatsoever.
But there's money from both sides coming in from the outside.
Certainly, but my average campaign contribution is $107. So we've received tens of thousands of contributions from ordinary people. Twice as many Wisconsinites have contributed to my campaign as have contributed to Brad Schemmel's campaign. And we've gotten thousands of small contributions from Americans all across the country who are really concerned about Elon Musk, as the richest man in the world, being able to come in and buy a state judicial seat.
The accusation that he's spending tens of millions of dollars to buy a seat and that you're the guy that's going to help him do that, you say?
You'd have to ask him why he spent all this money.
We'd love to.
Yeah, I didn't ask for it. I didn't know that was going to happen. Like I think I said, it's hard to get your message out to all the voters in Wisconsin. Even though I've campaigned in all 72 counties and I've been doing it for a long time, it is hard to get your message to everybody. So when that help comes in, I'm grateful for it. As long as that help isn't pretending I'm going to do anything that I wouldn't do.
So, this is a race to determine the ideological balance of a major high state court in a battleground state where issues like abortion rights, labor union rights, congressional redistricting, and election law are all going to come before it in the coming years. But the kind of thing that might make you go, is the fact that two judges who should perhaps be focused mostly on that issue have been consumed by questions from voters and from reporters about the amount of money being spent to put one of them on this court, Major. And it's just a really vivid example of how this has become a proxy fight between supporters and detractors of President Trump, most especially because Elon Musk got involved the way he did.
And to that point, Ed, is there any danger in overreading the outcome of tomorrow's election and its implications nationally for Trump, Musk, Republicans, or Democrats?
If the Democrats can hold on to this and maintain the 4-3 ideological balance, status quo is maintained, but it might be a shot in the arm to Democrats to go, okay, we figured out a way to hold on to a key thing in a big battleground state. If the Republican, Brad Schemmel, takes it with Musk's money, then his PAC and he himself are going to be getting calls from across the country from Republican candidates of all sorts saying, please come play in my backyard too, because you may be the key to victory. But otherwise, this is a race for a seat on the high court in a Midwestern state that's going to deal with issues of concern to this state. But given it's a presidential battleground, given issues like abortion rights, voting rights, labor rights are galvanizing in battleground states like this one, it's gotten all this attention and could very well throw the race either way.
That is why we're happy to have Ed O'Keefe in Wisconsin. All the beat knowledge you could possibly want. Ed, thanks so very much.